The nightmare of Germany. Basically, we Germans got abused. We Germans were war morons. We Germans suffered in wars, yet we cause wars, yet we have caused wars. We Germans did not have much brain because we like to eat gum bears and shitty food. We drink alcohol. We don't live very healthy. We're not sportive or anything. This is why the Germans have not much brain, not much energy in their head. If they need to work, they work, but if not, they're not, They're lazy slobs. Germans are lazy slobs. So at one point, the Germans could not get out of their mess anymore. And even the therapists are just the German therapists. If you go to a German therapist, you would imagine that this therapist is an authority in his or her field. She sits there and thinks she is an authority. That means she can mind fuck you. This is what the German therapist thinks. She's not helping you or anything, she's just mind fucking you. She's giving you advice that is just something like for kindergarten children in Russia, you know what I mean? As if you're completely dumb and stupid. And that's what you're paying for. Especially if you pay with the insurance card, with the therapist, she's not doing anything. So basically the therapists have studied at a university and they're just sitting there like lazy slobs doing nothing. And this is what most Germans do. They do not work. They do not invest. They do not work. They do not put energy into anything. This is why the Germans called in the Muslims 30, 50 years ago. The Muslims were the first ones, the first foreigners in Germany. Then the Chinese, at the same time, some Chinese came to Germany, some Russian, some Polish people, etc., etc. Because we needed energy, we needed knowledge, we needed wisdom, and we needed help and therapy. We needed healing, we needed evolving. Germans could not help each other. They do not want to help each other. They can help each other, but they do not want to. Look at the electronic music scene, for example. The males stay together as if they are like kind of like Rastafarian, you know. The electronic music scene is not a Rastafarian country, you know what I mean? But they pretend to be Rastafarian, who stay with a man. Only men are allowed to produce music. And if a woman ever makes it into the scene, then she is something very weird and special. She sets a lot of boundaries. He knows about all the game. She has studied well. She has a good family, good upbringing, a lot of money. This is the only female that would get into the electronic scene. It has changed a little bit, but the ones that truly make it in the scene are still the ones that are this typical male ideology of a female. At the same time, the men expect the same of the woman than they have achieved, but society does not provide this for women. Yeah? So the men say, well, I went to college, I went to school, I studied, I have good notes, then I went to university, I studied music or whatever, I studied something for 3 years, I made my bachelor, and then I got into the music. I brought a lot of money and intelligence into what I am already, so I am something already. And this is what the German males also want from their women. Plus, these women need to look young, beautiful, impeccable. If they look old like I do, then I have absolutely no chance, because it's a chasing game. The electronic music scene is a chasing game. And you would say the same thing with everything in the business field, like a cafe. You would put a beautiful woman in there to work there. So the men are actually raging against a woman like me, because they are saying, who are you? You know, I never allowed you to walk past me. I need to check you out and say, okay, you're all right. You have brain, you have looks, you have tits, you have this and that. You have talent or whatever, and you can make a good blowjob, or you can make good music or whatever. And then you are allowed to walk further. But unless you've been checked out positively by me, you're not allowed. A woman like me has to fight very hard to get a job for like earning €900 per month, which is around $1,000 per month part-time. A woman like me has to fight really hard. Sometimes you even have to call the police if others are not happy with that an older woman is still working, earning money or whatever. Then you have to call the cops and charge them or whatever. You have to fight against the haters or whatever, you know what I mean? You always, as a woman, you always have to fight against haters. I understand that, but entering the higher realms takes a little bit more than just being creative. You have to have a lot of intelligence, a lot of energy for that.